Hello everybody, Reggie Time here and welcome to entry number 3 of my 2020 vlog, chatting, chronicling, however you want to word it, my voyage through 2020 on the online poker streets. As usual, now we are playing on the UPoker app. We have 3 tables of UPoker 100NL running, which is effectively 25NL. This first table is on the UPoker club that serves Asian players. So this is 25NL sterling, and these next 2 tables are 25NL in dollars in the club that serves more South American players. Both very good clubs, depending on what time of day you're playing. Traffic does vary on these 2 tables on the right. Usually this is more of a post 10 PM place to play in the UK time, and this site here is more of a morning and afternoon GMT time zone. So having both clubs open to me is really useful because it allows me to play pretty much any time of day and in one club or the other, or as like now in a combination of both, which is really nice. I'm going to call here with the Jack and the 10 of the same suit against 2 fish. Let's have a look at this dude. 54 VPIP and a 70 VPIP. 70 VPIP donk. See, this is a spot where typically you'd want to semi-bluff, but against these players who just don't fold very often, we're just going to check our odds to see if we can improve. Semi-bluffing is only good if you have fold equity, and I've found to my cost that fold equity doesn't really exist in these games, especially when people are leading out. Usually they have a made hand or some description that I'm just not prepared to fold. Getting decent odds here to try and make our flush. In tougher games I would almost certainly have, well, doesn't matter now, I would almost certainly have raised on the flop with this hand, but never mind. There you go, see, just like he was leading out with a weakish made hand. Fair enough, he folded to the all-in. Maybe you would have folded the flop, but I'm not expecting people to be folding top pair to flop raises very often in these games. Certainly not players that have got tag blue anyway. So yeah, going back to the games, it gives me more license to play whenever I want. Having access to more than one club is really useful to help volume. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my situation right now. Small bit of spam at the start of the video. If you would like to join either of these clubs, please do get in touch via, please do get in touch via Facebook, via email, comment beneath the video, or Skype. And we can get you hooked up pretty quickly. Once you get in touch, we can usually have players fully signed up within 10 minutes. It's a pretty simple process. It is all done manually, but it's not a difficult process. And we have a top pair and a shit gut shot here, so we're just going to start by check calling. We didn't have a good shot. Why did I think we had a good shot and we just didn't? Now I think we just make a very small value bet here with our weak top pair. Hope he calls with a 10 or something. So yeah, if you do want to sign up, it's 30% flat rate back in this site here, the Thai facing site. We don't have quite as good a deal in the Brazilian facing site. It's just 20% rate back in these games. But if you are someone who wants to play later on in the day GMT time in really soft games and rate back is just not a big issue to you, then they really are good games. I mean, 20% rate back is still a lot better than you get on the main sites, but it's not something that should attract you on its own. The rate back shouldn't be the issue. The game quality should be, and I can promise you the game quality is very high, especially if you're comfortable starting your own tables. You can get in some amazing games if you start your own tables. So that's it for the spam. No more. Get in touch if you want to sign up to one of these sites, get some rate back and play soft games. And if you don't, then just enjoy the video and hopefully we can stack some fish. It was meant to be PLO Thursday, but I've had some issues with PLO this week. I played 2 sessions, lost 10 buy-ins, kind of pissed me off. So yeah, I've got some bruises. I was still going to make a PLO video at the start, but I only wanted to play the lower stakes, and there were some full tables that I couldn't be asked getting on waiting list for, and I didn't want to play short-handed, so we turned it into a no-limit video. I'm still very tender where PLO is concerned. I think my problem with PLO is that I see the really good games, but the variance gets to me because even though they're really good games, I'm still not sure I'm a winning player. They feel like I should be a winning player, but I don't know I am for sure. So I haven't got the same confidence. When I hit a no-limit downswing, I'm like, okay, I've been here a million times before. I know I'm in good games. I know I beat the games. I know I've got a good win rate in them. Who cares? Crack on. Whereas in PLO, I'm like, is my game up to it? I still have tilt issues in PLO. I have almost no tilt issues in No Limit Hold'em now, but in PLO I still have tilt issues, which, if I've already got a fragile win rate, will really probably make me a losing player. I'm not usually a winning player in soft PLO games. Something I want to get into, something I want to learn, but it's been the same story now for as long as I can remember. Play well for a while, hit a big downswing, tilt, spunk some money off, give up for a while. That might be the same issue we're in right now, might be the same place we're in right now, but it doesn't matter when I've got good No Limit Hold'em games to play. It doesn't really matter if I don't get good at PLO ever, but it's a shame because I did want to make another PLO video because these PLO games on this site, if you're a good PLO player, are absolutely off the charts. Sadly for me, I am not a good PLO player. I'm just going to stick it in here. We've been lucky enough to hit our gut shot on the turn on this table. And somehow we get the fold, and he's only got 13 chips left, which surprises me, but we'll take it, I guess. And I got the call, of course, with my straight. Guess this guy must be a fish. Yeah. Fishy-ish. Fishy-ish. Again, we have a gut shot here, backdoor flush draw, 2 overcards. Seems silly not to c-bet. I've found that just stabbing really small c-bets in these games works really well. I don't think extra size gets you any more fold equity. I think people just call with the hands they're going to call with, etc. They're very fishy, sticky games. So if I had a bet 350 there or 650, I think it would have pretty much got the same response. So I just don't spend as much on my bluffs and exploitably bluff smaller and value bet larger. Again, we're just going to put a smallish bet out again. Here we have picked up some equity. I'd rather bet this size and have him call and check and have him bet bigger and put me in an awkward position. As it happens, a small bet gets through on a turn that really shouldn't be that good for us on that board texture, but it worked anyway. Obviously against regulars we need to default to more standard sizings, but against fish I'm very, very exploitable with my sizings. With my strong hands I'll bet big, with my weaker hands I'll just bet small, and then obviously I'll have a lot more give-ups. I'm going to bet here just to kind of protect our hand a little bit. We are multi-way, which I think significantly devalues our weak top pair, but we don't just want to give a free card on this board. Let's have a look at this person's stats. Right, so he's very fishy. Get off. Get off. He's very fishy. Again, I'm going to make a very small bet, like 1/3 pot-ish. If he raises, we're just going to fold. But maybe he calls with just a single heart. Maybe he's picked up a jack with a queen jack offsuit or something with a heart. And then we're hopefully just going to check back the river if he does call and we don't improve. He goes with the small raise. King 10 is just not going to be good here, anywhere near enough for the time to justify calling here. Because we call here, he's going to pile the river 28. So basically, he's asking us, do we want to put 47 chips in here? And the answer to that question is no. So just fold our hand and move on. Let's have a look around our table. I've run out of player tags on Reggie Time on this first account, which is a bit annoying. Apparently you only get 1,000 and I've already tagged 1,000 players by all accounts. Doesn't feel like I have, but that's what I've been told. So we can't tag players on this account, unfortunately. We have to what I've started doing is untagging regulars and all regulars so I can retag fishier players, but it's a slow process. But we have a 55/6, 64, 30, a 60-21 Reggish type player, and another like weak type fish. So that's a good table. This table we have a 54 VPIP, regular 70 VPIP, and a 50 VPIP. So we've got good tables. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're able to find 3 really good tables quite quickly. Another 54 VPIP. I want to check this guy. He's like a, I'm not sure how to tag him, but definitely a fish. Got this dude here who's rocking the 90. Look at that, rocking the 90 VPIP over 7,000 hands. Delightful. And then we got another fish that's just sat here. So yeah, it's not difficult to find good games in the UPoker clubs. That is for sure. Didn't 3-bet the ace-10 offsuit. I think it's just too wide to be 3-betting versus people who are just going to call with remarkably wide ranges and then just doesn't play that well post-flop. For me, if you're trying to 3-bet like a 90 VPIP guy with the ace-10 off and then play him out of position, fair enough, we probably have the best hand pre-flop, but it's going to be really hard to get to showdown versus these guys, especially when you miss. And they're just really hard to bluff, so I tend not to 3-bet those hands. And do we want to 3-bet this dude to isolate him? No, there's 2 fish to go behind. We've got a hand that performs really well multi-way, so we're just going to hit the call button, hope not to get squeezed. There isn't a great deal of squeezing goes on in these games, certainly not light squeezing. 3-betting isn't much of a problem in the, as I say that, we obviously get squeezed. If he calls, we're coming. We're coming. He's brought us. He has brought us. He has to play really honestly now post-flop. He just can't be c-betting light. So we can... It's going to be a pretty easy hand to play post-flop. You just can't bluff here because of this dude. And we flop a good shot, but sadly we're not going to be able to continue at that price. Maybe no, I don't think we should have. I was thinking maybe we should have 3-bet pre-flop there, but I think that's just plain results. We had 2 decent fish behind us who were just almost never going to squeeze without a very strong hand, and then we had the regular in the big blind who, you know, how often is he going to wake up with a hand that can squeeze? Obviously some of the time, but I think call's definitely the best play there. We just got squeezed and had to call and then missed, so never mind. Such is life. I know this player's a regular. Pretty weak, tight regular at that. Ah, Josh is in the building. He's a Sky Poker convert. He's been doing really, really well. Good player. Better than me for sure. He's certainly enjoying things. He was reticent to leave Sky Poker at first to come and join the site, and now he's just hasn't played a hand on Sky in like a month. So if you are a Sky Poker regular watching this video, thinking should I make the move or not, you know, there's now 3 or 4 Sky Poker converts, and every one of them stuck with it. Not one of them's gone back to Sky yet. That won't be the case for everyone. It's never going to be for everybody, but these games are very comparable with like Sky games. Very comparable, I'd say. Almost the same in terms of like overall game softness. Sometimes you can get some fantastic games on here. Better than you'll find on Sky, and then other times, you know, at certain times of day it's a little bit more reggy than Sky, but overall I'd say it compares very favourably with Sky, plus you get the rate back. So if you are playing on Sky and you're finding it harder to make it worthwhile, and yeah, give us a shout, you won't be disappointed. yeah, maybe, hopefully, we'll be back to PLO Thursday next week. It depends. Like I say, I had 10 buy-in downswing in one session. It was, or was it just over 2 sessions? It was 2 sessions on the same night. It was fucking horrific. And I'd like to say it was just run bad, but it wasn't. I tilted towards the end and like punted off way over 200 blinds. And it was about, I don't know, 4 in the morning. I was tired. I was up later than I wanted to be, and I'd coming off the back of like a 10 buy-in downswing, and it's left bruises. But good news is I played an all limit session last night, and it was a good session. Didn't completely offset the fucking disaster of the PLO, but it did a lot for improving my mood and my mindset. This player sits back in soon. This is the guy that's it. He is it at this table. Hopefully you won't be removed, because if you sit out for like an orbit or so, it just boots you. So hopefully you won't be removed. What we got here, we've got a weak tight regular raising under the gun. We're going to peel with the Jack 9 suited, mostly because of this guy and this guy. We want to try and play pots with these two players. We don't want to be 3-betting light and having them fold them. We also want to be 3-betting light versus somebody who only raises 7%. At this point, I think he's pretty much got 2 high cards. A lot of the time, we're going to do like a pretty smallish triple barrel. If he raises at any point, then we're just going to accept we got caught with our hand in the cookie jar and give up. Sadly, we've lost the whale on table 3, but we still have 2 players with significant VPIPs, so when we haven't got good position on them, but still happy to have them at our table. Typically in tougher games this will be a check back with these 2 8s, but people just don't bluff very much in these games, and so it's like check back to try and bluff catch. Doesn't feel anywhere near as good in these games as it is in other games, so we'll just be betting our rates for very thin value and for some protection. These gamers do play, especially on the Brazilian side. They play pretty damn passive post flop, so that if you were someone who like typically tries to use like the Doug Polk post flop game plan, where you have like a lot of category 2s where you try and bluff catch, it's just not going to work out on this site anywhere near as well. And you want to be having a lot more hands in your category 1 range, not as many category 2 hands, and when you choose your very best category 3 hands to be aggressive with. We have a gut shot here and a backdoor flush draw. This guy's led out. Led out with top pair last time, didn't he? I'm worried if we just call, Josh might squeeze or 3-bet, so we're going to actually make a small raise ourselves just to try and knock Josh out, and then hope to get there against this dude or find a spot to bluff. That is just not a good river table. I was going to triple here. I think he's going to have a 6 a lot of the time. It's just whether he's in the mood to fold a 6. I think we're going to have to go for it. Shouldn't have that many Jack X in his range. My worry is he's got like some kind of weird 2 pair, like 7-4, 6-4, 6-7, that type of thing. But we are just trying to make him fold a 4 or a 6 with that bet, and it works. So easy squeeze opportunity. You're going to make it really big as well, because really do not want to deal with having like 8 million callers. Don't want to just give up here. Wouldn't be at all surprised if we get raised, and then I'm just going to get a bit irritated and fold. But we take it down with a small c-bet. As I was saying earlier, small c-bets work pretty well on this site. There's no reason to make them excessively big when we're bluffing, as I said earlier. Certainly not against recreational players. Do we squeeze again here with the ace-queen suited? Don't really want to open up the opportunity for Josh to 4-bet, so we're just going to call with our very strong hand on the button. We don't mind if the blinds come along, play this hand multi-way in position. We can handle a squeeze, we can call a squeeze too, if one comes. Don't expect one, but if one comes we can defend versus it. I'm going to be looking to play a huge pot here with our top pair. A little bit concerned that this guy like overcalled. Can't be too paranoid just yet. So I have to keep calling versus these small sizes. I'm mostly concerned about this dude here. Won't be at all surprised to see like quite a big lead here. It checks. We're not going to call this bet. Too likely just one of these dudes is in there with the 9. Of course, like Jack 10 suited's missed, like flush draws have missed, King Jack's missed. There's a lot of hands that have missed here. Heads up, I think we just need to call, but in a multi-way pot, especially versus someone with a very high VPIP. So to make a sad fold. And we're going to leave this table here. Don't know, this guy's pretty fishy. Maybe not. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll be naughty and we'll do a seat switch. Pretty terrible flop for us. All these guys have a lot more ace-x in their range than your average player, and we just have like almost no equity. Totally over the king queen there. I was totally over the king queen suited the minute that flop came down. So next hand please, dealer. Let's just get on with the next hand, because this one's fucked. 3-bet small here just to isolate. Easy 4 to a 4-bet. Not in love with like raising King Jack out of the small blind, but versus a limper. But really don't want to be going multi-way too often with King Jack offsuit. If we just call and he raises and he calls, you're like, let's try and see a flop then. Before you know it, you put 10 blinds in with no real hope of ever winning. When Josh Cole calls my 3-bet out of the small blind, he's going to have a pretty damn strong range. Don't think he's going to have too many check folds in his range on that board either, so give up, not that into C-bet bluffing, very weak hands in multi-way pots, multi-way 3-bet pots. Josh bets again here. I think he's going to have stuff like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, maybe even pocket queens, although we obviously block queens pretty hard. He shouldn't have that much 4x in his range. I'd be calling, if I was Josh and had like any pocket pair here, like 10s, jacks, queens, I'd be calling in a heartbeat. It's a 3-bet pot, he's raised under the gun. And he called a 3-bet. He just doesn't have very much 4x in his range at all. I think it's a good spot to try and bluff catch. Or catch someone maybe thin value betting pocket 8s here with a bigger pair. Obviously in a tough spot if he's got a hand like ace, queen or what have you. Yeah, Josh did call with 9s and 1. Good call, sir. Well played. Still going to throw a bit of shit at him though, just because why not? I like these little emojis on this site, but sometimes some fish will come along and they'll just way overdo it and I've got to mute it. There's some dude playing, I think it was just before the new year or just after it, and he spent 15 minutes, because you get like tons of free emojis, like 1,584, and he was just fucking bang, 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 constantly, and it just did my fucking head in the end, and I just had to mute the table, but yeah, they don't do anything, don't achieve anything, of course, but it adds a little bit of fun now and again, and especially if the fish like them, then I'm 100% all for them. We are in the business of having pocket jacks. We're in the business for jacks here, aren't we? Some jacks over here. Wow, right, let's see, what are we doing here with these jacks? We have a regular opening, small 3-bet from another regular. See about our king jack over here. Wow, what do we do here? We called 4, we have to get it in versus that stack size. Do we want to get 50 bigs in pre? I guess so. If he comes over the top again though, then I am so over it. Weird spot that with jacks versus 2 regulars. I'm not that good in reg versus reg spots these days. I'm just not that well practiced in it anymore, because I just don't play tables where you have a lot of reg versus reg action. So I certainly feel a bit rusty in those spots. I don't know if jacks is a 50 blind stack up pre there or not versus a raise and a 3-bet. Don't know. But I guess I decided it was. This table isn't very good. If I was like planning on playing a long session here, I'd be It's not a bad table, not by any stretch. You know, we do have a like nit fish here and a decent fish here. But it's a testament to how good the games can be on this site, where I would consider ditching this table. Yeah, kind of. A, it shows how much of a fucking game selection nit I am, possibly too much of a game selection nit. B, it shows how good the games I know they can be if I'm considering ditching a table with a 50v pip at it. Maybe I was a bit hasty there with my assessment of the situation. I don't get into many pissing contests in these games. Again, there's no reason to. Pretty much all about the fish, not that much. I mean, there's some regulars in here who definitely get the better of me. There's no denying that. But it's because I'm almost happy to let them get the better of me, because I'm just not interested in creating dynamics that don't need to exist. Can we check raise here? This is a board that should favour my range. He only c-bets 48%. I think if you had the ace 9 of clubs, it would be much easier. Check raise. We can't check fold yet though. I have too much equity for that, and I guess we're going to be seeing a river now at this point. I hope he doesn't bet too big. Wouldn't want to see like a pot size bet here. There's just half pot. I think we have to continue. I think we're probably behind. Feels like we are, but we can't just like turn top pair and give up. And I should probably have some leads here, but I don't think this is a hand to do it with. Jack 9, he just flopped it. Flop check raise wasn't working, was it? The flop check raise was not going to work there. Very glad we didn't pull the trigger on that one. That board just got worse and worse for him, didn't it? Fucking hating his life. Flop the joint, then get the push card coming in, then get the card coming in that makes it really hard to get paid off. Because it doesn't counterfeit your hand, but it significantly weakens it. Well, not weakens it, you know what I mean? It's going to be harder to get paid by worse and what have you. Started this video late today because I was due to go and have breakfast with my son this morning. He was paying too, which is a very rare event, but then I just woke up and just had literally no appetite, so I still went to see him of course, but didn't have breakfast. But it has delayed me. Normally I like to make these videos earlier in the morning, get them out of the way, get them uploaded, but it's currently 1:20 and I should be watching snooker right now and going back for an afternoon nap, but instead I've got 10 more minutes of video making to do, then uploading, so snooker will have to wait. All in. 1. We can run it 3 times, but he might turn me down. He might just want to gamble, but run it 3 times. 1 for the bad guys. It's 1 for the bad guys. That's 2 for the bad guys. And that's 1 for the good guys. So running it 3 times kind of worked out for us there, because if we'd run it once we'd have lost, if we ran it twice we'd have lost. So I mean, I was expecting to win that 2 times out of 3, not lose it 2 times out of 3, but never mind. You win it 3 times, a 60% favourite, you expect to win twice, don't you? But I guess it's better than winning it once and losing the whole pot, so happy days. This guy's like, I haven't got him tagged because he's got like really like aggro fish stats, but I'm not sure I mean, he is a fish, but he's an aggro little cunt, and he makes life difficult for me, so I don't like to tag people as fish who make life difficult for me, because usually I like to tag fish who make life easy for me. So he's been like on and off, tagged as green, not as green, tagged as green, not as green. But given his colour, fuck it. You are green, mate, aren't you? In fact, you're going to get the very, very underutilised purple tag there. It's like bad aggro. Oh yeah, I forgot. Run out of tags on this one, haven't I? Check back. He didn't donk, which means he's missed probably. He'll make a small bet to try and protect our hand. Queen shouldn't change very much. Still think we probably have the best hand. Again, I'm going to make a very small value bet here. Could be value owning ourselves just a little bit, but I think it's fine. I'm going to check back now. I mean, we lose to a 4 that he might play this way. 10 deuce. Get your 10 dewey out. I'm going to come with the straddle this time. Obviously we're obliged to raise the straddle with a hand as strong as A6 suited. Wouldn't be totally surprised if either of these two like relatively aggressive regulars tried to get after this. Red please. Ooh, fruity. We could have made a strong case for checking back there, I think, but obviously I have so much equity. I'm happy just to bet as well. It's disappointing that the bad reg has, let's say bad reg, he's got good stats but he doesn't play 100 blinds, so I'm automatically defaulting he's a bad reg. Bad reg taking some chips from the fish, but fortunately because he didn't have the fish covered, then he doesn't get to maximise his profit there, which is good for us because it still allows us to be in position against somebody who's relatively deep stacked and pretty bad at poker. Elizabeth, you are a whale. And how often does this happen on the major sites where an empty seat just gets taken by a whale? Normally, you'd like on the major sites, you start a table, it's pretty good, it's okay, and then every time a fish leaves, they're replaced by a regular. So then you just have to like rinse and repeat. Right, leave this table now, we squeeze the juice out of it and start a new one. I mean, on these clubs, I've been finding that the fish find you. You don't have to go finding the fish a lot of the time; they just find you. Right, so we got a really weak type player who's had a really small 3-bet. We're gonna put him on a very narrow range of aces, kings, queens, ace, king, and we're gonna try and crack it. Not a good start. Well, we've got a pair, but against this player, we're just happy to snap fold. It wasn't the flop we were looking for at all. I'm not really one for folding pairs in 3-bet pots, but when somebody with I'm not convinced his stats are super accurate, but someone with whichever way you look at it, low 3-bet, 3-bets and c-bets pretty quickly on ace high boards, then I'm not going to be going too far down in my range to find calls. He's made his raise size bigger this time. He's been making it 3x, what have you. Now he's made it 350, which does give me slight cause for concern that he might be having a 4-bet incoming. No reason to c-bet ace queen here. This guy is not folding a better hand and we have got good showdown value. Gonna keep trying. I mean, that's an unfortunate turn because it means a lot of his weaker ace-x now chops with us, but just gonna try and get to showdown. Maybe we spike a queen. No, chop chop. Obviously his larger ace size doesn't really mean anything given that he turned up with the ace-9 offsuit. $17 seems like the number here. Hope not to get raised because that would make me want to retch. And he just snap folds. It's one of those tables that I'm really not a big fan of now. I know all these players are pretty much all regulars. I don't know, thought I knew this guy, I didn't know him. Must be someone with a similar name. See you at the river, Diego. Not at all in love with my hand here, but against this dude, excuse me, we just can't be folding. Certainly going to check back now, no value in betting really. Jack 6 offsuit, or Jack 8 offsuit, happy days. I think we've had some pretty good tables. Fuck it, we'll go for the hour. We'll sacrifice the snooker. The nap's not that important. We can do the nap anytime, can't we? But we've got some pretty good tables, and there's every chance they're going to continue playing even after I stop recording. So I'm going to record for a little bit longer in that case. Continuing with the small bets here, I just don't really have much of a check call range. against fish tend to just have betting ranges and check folding ranges mostly. Again, very, very exploitable, but not that worried about being exploited. Now it's, do we check to allow him to like bluff with his 1 heart combinations on his 7x combos and his 8x combos? I think that hand functions. I don't know. I think it's probably just a check call rather than a go for a bet, but that's a problem. They're just passive and they just don't bluff very often. So I just really am like not into bluff catching on this site because I think we miss too much value by not betting our hands, and they don't bluff enough. That was a close one though, because like so many draws missed. And there was just like so many hands you could have that can't call but want to bluff. That's one of the cases where I don't mind doing it, but usually if I'm in a situation where I'm not sure whether to bet or to like bet or bluff catch, I usually take the betting option, especially against fish. In position that's much easier, we just bet the river, no problem, once he checks to us, but out of position I think our hand's probably better as a check. But I'm far from certain on that. Not folding here if this dude raises. He calls. Not a good turn card to barrel, so I'm not going to. Don't think he folds 10x very often. Certainly doesn't fold Queen X. 8-9's just got there. So just going to check back. And we do not improve on the river. And I don't think we can't really bet here. I wouldn't expect him, or he's not folding the 10. He's not folding the Queen. We're ahead of King Jack. We're ahead of Jack 9. Yeah, just my line doesn't make sense to want to bet here, so we're just not going to. 8-7. I'm not even sure he's going to fold that given the line that I took. I think to get him to fold 8-7 there you probably need to triple. You can see going bigger here with the value hand. Sadly we get the folds, but whenever I just flop top pair with a medium kicker, I'm never disappointed when my opponent's fold. And sometimes you want the call, of course, especially from the looser players, but just picking the pot up most of the time is a good outcome. Again here versus this dude, we're not going to be c-betting hands like ace queen. And we're certainly not going to be calling versus donk bet when we just know he's apt to donk pairs. Come on, Jay, go for it. Nope. Not interested in getting after the straddle, this mad little fucker, mate. Nope, have to do our own donkey work. Well, never mind. And I'm sat here thinking, oh, these tables aren't very good. But we are at tables with... maybe this table has gone a little bit rubbish now. But definitely fish. Definitely fish at the tables. And then we've got like a 70V pip. We've got a 63V. I mean, most of you guys probably sit and look at these tables and like, what is this fat cunt on about? You know, tables aren't that good. But they're not good. These tables aren't good compared to what I know we can get on this app. Not even close to good. They're still good games, because obviously we've got fish at every table. So these are still, without question, good games. I just know that I can do much better. Start with a bet with our bottom pair here versus someone who 4x and then checked. They have a lot of ace highs in their range when they 4x and then check call this flop. Ace king's just improved, ace jack still hasn't, ace queen still hasn't. He's getting too thin to value bet now though, just in case he's in there with like a pocket nines type thing. Some weak 10x is deciding he doesn't want to block the pot with. I'd be sorely tempted to raise if he leads here. It's like, what gets to the river that he plays this way? Like ace king, probably one of his best hands that he would usually play, that he would potentially play this way. Bet so quick, don't think he has a flush. We're going for it. I think he's like 2 pair at best here, 1 pair most of the time. So we're just going for it with the bluff. It's a shit hand to bluff with. We don't block anything. We don't block any straights. We don't block any flushes. But I just didn't believe him. Like the speed he bet the river with, like the way the hand went down, I don't think he can have very many strong hands there. I'd much rather have some diamonds in our hands to bluff with there, or a queen or something in our hands to bluff with. But it's just one of them situations where it just didn't make sense. And as just Judy says, when it doesn't make sense, it's usually a lie. Or it doesn't, when it doesn't make sense because it's a lie. So yeah, I mean, I think you can have a lot of king X there that's just like floated the flop, that are now just trying to like thin value at the river or something. Maybe we just had the best hand. Maybe we just turned the best hand into a bluff. Who knows? This guy low 3-bet. This guy higher 3-bet, but not anything major. This isn't a flop you should be c-betting very often. We have a good shot. 2 up guys. Problem is I think this guy's a little bit sticky with it when he misses. I don't think we're just going to get him off ace high with 1 barrel. If he calls again here, we're probably going to give up. I think this is the type of player like just doesn't check fold ace high for 1 bet. So we have to empty the clip first. Well, not empty the clip, but we have to be willing to fire more than 1 barrel against this type of player. Either fire more than 1 barrel or just, allow him a lot of free showdowns with ace high, which I don't really want to be doing. Then we're just going to play around to our blinds on each table, then wrap the video up. How have we done? How have we done today in the video? Made 4 chips there. 41 chips there, and I think we've lost at this table. Lost, yeah, so we've made like 45 chips in 55 minutes. It's about 12 quid or so, I think. We'll take it. We'll take it. That's one video. That's one table down. This is 2 tables down. We're not going to wait one table for a whole orbit. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you have got to the end of the video, you like the look of the site and you haven't yet signed up, please do get in touch. All my contact details are beneath the video. Facebook is easily the best way to get in touch, but the other methods are fine too. Get in touch, reach out to me, and we'll get you signed up pretty quickly. Take care, everybody. We're back on Monday with another video, and we'll leave it there. Bye-bye for now.